Good morning, ladies. My name is Charlie, and welcome to the What If Side Tour. So, yeah, part two. So, where we left off, of course, I was done explaining something, so let's get back into the what if. So, yeah, so I'm skipping of course, we already did the heroes and villains, so now it's USJ. And she's in class 1A. I'm putting her in that, so yeah. And yeah, they it goes similar to canon, but the yeah. So no, they arrive at they get ambushed, but he gets like when he realizes that the Mr. Zawa, of course, he saw Mr. Zawa getting pummeled. That's not okay with him. As he looks as he gets angry, as he consumes his own rage, blood rage, as he's not in the one in control. You know who's in control of him? Of his body? Like someone just took a wheel over? Was that monster. As his body starts to change into that, as he grabs the Nomu's head, slamming it against the. And as he says, huh, you're a creature. He used to be human, with different quirks. I have no mind. I don't mind eating him alive. As you know, as his inner voice, or like, or real him tells him that, or taps on his shoulder and tells him that the aim for his brain, eat the brain first. Like, if you disarm the brain, he won't move around as much. As he says, that's a good idea. As the monster grabs the Nomu's brain, rips it out of it, and starts eating his brain with the rest of the Nomu's. As everyone was terrified, as he looks around, as all the high-end villains are scared, even some of them are so scared that they even peed their pants. And by just looking at him, how terrifying it is. As Denki knows who, or he, are you still in there? As he says, tell him I'm here. As he turns around and looks at him, and he says, he's still in here. I'm one of his friends. You must be Denki. I heard so much about. As he uses his tentacles to shake his hand, he properly introduces himself. Yeah. And they Of course, she is like, never seen. Yeah. And then it was terrifies her as as he basically he literally opens the door and all of the students and the pro heroes went out as yeah, he blocked up the door with his vines. And she says it's a slaughter fest. As he slaughters all the high-end villains, devouring them, breaking them into pieces and devouring them to make it go in smooth. Yeah, it's like I forget that anime where it's a bunch of rabbits. It kind of looks like those ones. It looked like like slaughters Honor Fest. That even that's what it looked like. Yeah, it was terrifying as he went back into his when he took back with his wheel. As he like, are you satisfied? Yeah. As he wipes his own mouth. An only person, or yeah, work guy and yeah. You know that was my body that you used, right? Yeah. As people or the students and teachers out there, when they were hearing a bunch of screams and roars and all that stuff, as they were shaken and out of their they were scared out of their minds. As he when the vines went down, he came out looking like he murdered somebody. As Denki tells 13 that it's not his fault. It's the one of his monster imaginary friends his fault. The one that you saw, he talks to him. Yeah. 13 looks at him like, really? As everyone says, yeah. Sorry about that. And yeah. And don't worry, it's still me. he I didn't know what to do, so he took over and knew what to do. Yeah. Then goodness Todoroki left with Kirigiri. Because I don't know if they could ever survive that thing. So now the sports festival thing the race is, and guess who was watching it? Her mom's was watching it. And she remembers her own son was a crazy one that she kicked out. So he won against a cavalry battle. as he feels so sick to his stomach right now. No, as he, yeah. So, yeah, he gets a lot of transforms into like or different forms. Yeah. So Denki says, "How about ask one of your imaginary friends to take over your body?" Okay. And you know the funny thing? When, because he's also human or daywalker, and he gives the abilities to make his friends that possess him turn into daywalkers too. So she has no problem of, because, yeah. So, who wants to go up first on, huh? Because he ate some bad sushi. As he, and guess who chose? Who was to volunteer? Was her. Her. As she takes over the wheel, as his body starts to transform again into a more smaller, fragile little girl. As, yeah, and it was so painful process. Yes, that it was terrifies them. And when she gets up, Chaco is like, who who would you be? As she says, like her name, and what they go by code names too. So she, oh, I'm the vampire girl. You already seen Plant Monster before, the one that was at USJ a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, and she won against the race because she could fly at supersonic speeds. And she can't like touch the ground. So yeah. And you know what's funny? Inside of his body, the plant ant gave him a barf bag. As you know what's funny? Or this is the disgusting part. When he threw up in the barf bag, or when the him throwing up in it, yeah, he ends up in the back, and he basically ate all of it. Like, he ate the entire bag. Because yeah. So, yeah. And who's his opponent is? Or that girl's opponent? Is actually in the fight one. because I'm skipping the cavalry battle because she got first place. Or during the cavalry battle, or before, he said, or of course she says, all right, and I'm sure, and his body starts to do it again. It was pretty, and brains, yeah. So she talks normally. Yeah. So yeah. Thinking that he had his like spare clothes stuff, huh? Because he actually made one super long so that the no embarrassing like girly moments. Yeah. As he decides to do this. Or no, she decides, this isn't going to be too hard, isn't it? And she's by herself. Or no, because she already has 3 people inside her. Or, and she starts running and then away from everybody. She has 10 million headbands. And she starts running around like a chicken with a head cut off. Oh. Because how embarrassing she is, she's running away from it. As he, or her in herself, like he tells her that you need to grab some headbands for her. Okay? To not let them win, okay? It's like capture the flag, but with headbands. Ooh, my favorite game. As she starts running towards them and grabs all the headbands faster than she could say, or they could say, time's up. And they're like, where's our headband? As she turns around, smiles, hails, like, yay! With like 3 fingers. Yeah. As they see all the headbands is piled on top of her head, like a little hat that could go all the way around. It's like a little big ball. As hers, yeah. The him. So yeah, and he goes back to normal. So he says, "Huh, I feel much better after letting them take control of my body." And his face tells her that he is her son. And when he said, "I'm gonna say, hey," as Dengi says, "How do you feel?" Better than I was. Then I know that I saw the entire thing through my own eyes, but sheesh. Sheesh. The my but I'll survive if the through the fight thing. If not, the just me to the nearest toilet. Okay? Okay. And he sees him as his own brother that he never had. And yeah. So then, yeah. Zuko, no, they all agree that he need. So yeah, his first opponent is against his own sister. Yeah. As he, so she's like, huh, ready? Yeah. He used Warp Gate, or Illusion Gate, or he used the Illusion Gate to make a clone of himself, and he went invisible. So, yeah. So she ends up trying to attack him, as he says, huh, na 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 na, as he knocks her out with just a swing to her side, or like the back of his foot, sending her like hitting the wall, kind. As he says, haha, giggle, giggle, giggle. As, because in his dreams, or these time skips things, he ends up having, or in his dreams, he's trained with them. So yeah, some of them are trained him real well on dodging, attacking, combined moves, and like all that stuff. So yeah, he ends up, and you know who the next opponent is? Not the devil, or it was against Todoroki. Zuko won against the brain dude, Hoon. So I'm skipping the rest. So yeah. And so it's cavalry battle, or no, internship. He goes for more like Endeavor, or someone that he doesn't recognize, or he's trying to think. As he's banging his head because he's trying to think of who's. And after the sports festival thing, I forgot to mention, after sports festival, they all went home. Of course, her mom tells her that the truth, like, you already have the brother, but you haven't hanged around with him too much. and she's confused of why. Well, see, your brother was got rid of because he was talking to himself too many times. But now I see, or we see him, that he's not wasn't talking to himself. He was talking to someone. And as she knew that when she saw a vampire girl and then a zombie. Me. Of course, she was gonna tell her mom that she also saw a plant creature, or she did, as, well, that's probably her friend. Or that's probably your brother's friends that he talks to. Because I pieced it all together. See, your brother, Heather, is Sideswipe. Because yeah. So, then now, when they got back to school, or before school even started, she she literally walks up to her brother, Hunter, when he was sleeping. Amen. And yeah. And guess who was seeing her approach him? Was, of course, the vampire girl. As his body starts to change, or actually, she asked the plant creature to take him to bed. And as she takes, or as the plant creature takes him, puts him in bed, tucks him in, kisses him goodnight, and yeah, she tells him, or she actually took control as his body his body transforms into hers, as she looks up and says, "Hey, what's up? Anything interesting?" Huh. Nothing, but where's Sideswipe? Oh, he's just sleeping. I had the plant creature put him in bed. And not in the coffin, don't worry. Well, when he wakes up, tell him that they really want to talk to him. Okay? Okay. Because how stressful he was. Yeah. So now the quick thing. So, yeah. So I'm skipping the internship thing fully, but he does battle against Hero Killer Stain and yeah. as only people that do know that he is Class 1A, and it's just the Class 1A, and a couple of the pro heroes knows that he can change his forms or personalities. As, yeah. So, when Endeavor saw her, she's like, Todoroki, why did you bring this little girl here? Oh, that's not the little girl. That's one of the alternate personalities of a sideswipe. He is correct. He is sleeping right now. He's been under a lot of stress recently. Plus how he was like thrown up. So I'm taking over. And yeah. Endeavor says, okay. Yeah. Or actually, she goes with the same internship as her sister thing. Yeah. So then, yeah, whole shenanigans, so whole shebang. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm skipping the camp park. Right? Because he was awake for that. He wanted to just, he trained his body. So, yeah, he was buff. So, yeah. And it was finally time for her to tell him. How was your sleepy sleep? As she noticed that when he's grunting and his eyes are still like drowsy. Huh. Yeah. As he gets up. Okay. Did I miss anything? Well, you actually won against Hero Killer Stain. In who's that? Oh, well, I know that you might not know who Stain is because you were sleeping. Yeah. So when he but stands or step aside thing or push that aside thing. Of course, she tells him that you're not crazy. It's on talking to yourself. But of course, this is what she says. You want to be back at of course, this is what she wrote down, or her mom wrote down for him. Huh? Oh, sorry. I had something on my hand. So, yeah. So, basically, when she showed it, like, I'm not reading the proper. So, yeah. It says, I want you back home. back in this family. Because they kicked him out of family tree, so yeah. But now they're, let's say they're reattaching the limb back. Yeah. So yeah. She ended up telling him that you're my brother, anyways. Huh. Yeah. As nothing. Of course, you know who got kidnapped in this what if? Was Sideswipe. Because he. Here. I'll make part 3. So please